Bailey, you're not going with this time. Come on. Be back in a little while, guys. I'm gonna miss you guys too. Good morning. I'm David Gray, and I'm heading to the airport to get my 5th backpacking trip of the 2019 season started. On this trip, I'm getting together with Carl, who's already done 3 of the trips in 2019 with me. And I'm also getting together with Tyler, who you last saw in the season-ending 2018 hike down in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We're all converging on Pinedale, Wyoming, where we're going to start a hike tomorrow in the Wind River Range of northwest Wyoming, more commonly or simply referred to as the Winds. You may recall that I did a trip to the Winds in June of 2018. On that trip, when we got out to Pinedale, we met with a local outfitter, and our plans had to change multiple times due to high snow on the passes and flooded streams due to snowmelt around the lakes. On this year's hike, we're planning on doing the exact same hike we originally planned to do last year. We're going to be hiking in the area of Island Lake and Titcomb Basin. So the first night we'll be spending at Hobbs Lake, and then on the second day we'll head over to Island Lake and the spectacular Titcomb Basin. And then the third day we'll make our way back over to the Pole Creek Lakes area, and then on the 4th day we'll just head out to the trailhead in the car. The Wind River Range is truly spectacular. It's a photographer's and videographer's paradise, and just really eye candy all around. It's a place of rapidly rising granite mountains, just spectacular alpine lakes, and really something that reminds me very much of the magnificent Sierra Nevada in California. Weather-wise, I think we're sticking with that 2018 good weather theme. The weather looks really good. The first couple of days looks like clear and sunny. We get some increasing chance of thunderstorms second half of the hike, but overall temperatures are going to be highs in the 70s, lows in the 30s, and for September in the mountains, that's something that's going to be really hard to beat. So with that, let's get over to the airport and get this long day of travel started. Looks like we're on time so far. 6:40 a.m. to Denver. Last time I was here, I got this beautiful sunrise shot right here. You can definitely tell we're traveling a little bit later in the year. It's still dark, big time. Made it through security. Always feels good to get rid of the bags and get all of that portion of the travel taken care of. Get to the gate and relax. Get out to Denver.
The moving walkway is coming toward the end. Please watch your step.
If you left a fitness tracker on checkpoint B, please return to claim.
Family, we would like to thank you for choosing Southwest Airlines.
I grabbed it for you. I'm getting in the habit of getting these little cart things. It saves my shoulders immensely. Plus we're going to be getting Carl's bags too, so I figured instead of hauling everything around while I wait for them, just spend a couple dollars and get a little cart and make it easy. Hey stranger! Hey. How are you? You made it.
Good to see you, man.
And I see your bag made it too.
Did it? It did. I gotta catch it.
All right. It's not going real fast.
Well, neither am I.
Wide open places of Wyoming.
Are we there yet?
Getting our first decent look at the winds as we head up towards Pinedale. We're about probably 50 miles south of Pinedale. We made it to Pinedale. We made it to the Log Cabin Motel, cabin number 23. Woo-hoo. Same place as last year. Whoa, looks the same.
All right.
Well, we made it back. Log Cabin Motel. We're staying in cabin 23, which is the same cabin we stayed in last year. We're just getting settled in the cabin for a few minutes, and we're gonna head over to the outfitter, get some knowledge and information, a couple last minute things we need like canister fuel, and then head over to the Wind River Brewing Company for dinner. Kind of a deja vu all over again experience in Pinedale. Made it back to the great outdoor shop. This is the local outfitter, so we're going to go in there and buy some stuff, get some knowledge, and then this is Wind River Brewing Company right across the street. Oh, sweet.
Thanks. What's the situation right now with the grizzlies and everything?
So populations aren't, soaring or anything, especially down here a little bit more south. I haven't heard or seen any grizzlies.
Okay.
I just came out of Titcomb, and it's such a traffic trail. This time I felt a little bit less bear sense. I mean, they're around, but
Yeah.
I think the northern Wind River is a little bit more prolific. It's a great time to be up there. Great weather window, that's what got me up. Labrador was the weather window.
Awesome. Getting some munchies for the beer. Those appetizer baskets have our eyes. Lots of good fried stuff. Yeah, we're getting a little, Carl wanted the heart of the appetizer. So that's the sweet potato fries with bacon and blue cheese and a little ranch dressing on the side.
Cholesterol free.
Well, we're just enjoying the first porch time at the Log Cabin Motel with a little Kentucky Chardonnay, more commonly known as Buffalo Trace. Cheers! Feels good to be in Pinedale. We've already done the outfitter. We've done the first round of the Wind River Brewing Company, first round of the porch relaxation. We just had a FaceTime with Travis.
To you, Travis.
To you, Travis. Wish you were here.
Miss you.
I'm thinking a little more time doing this, and we may just be here.
We may have to
order
house tonight.
Well, we can order in pizza.
Or pizza. Pizza.
Pizza, we ordered a pizza carry out.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Appreciate it.
Sweet. Ooh, that looks like a lot of cheese.
I think there's meat buried in there somewhere.
Well, I thought we ordered
Where's
the
the beef?
cholesterol-free, fat-free version. They call this brand placement. In like all the big movies, they do stuff like this. Not only do we have the Coors Light mini tall boys for my own frontier, Joey, doing the PBRs out there.
Yeah.
Just did the Show Brothers thing with him, so we were doing that kind of memory. We found the Coors Light glasses in the cabinets. We're deciding we didn't want to go back to the Wind River Brewery, so we're doing the porch. We don't want to leave this porch.
Love the pork.
Good.
Not bad.
Fantastic night on the porch at the Log Cabin Motel. I think everything is basically prepared for the hiking tomorrow. First day of the Wind River trip, 2019. It's in the books. See you tomorrow. Do some hiking. Comet always weighs about 20 pounds more than you think it should. Peg is really heavy. Start of the trip. Good morning. Welcome to day number 2 of the backpacking trip. First day of hiking, we're getting right on it on this trip. No extra day up in Madison Campground like Yellowstone. Another beautiful day, a little chilly. It's probably in the low 40s right now, so I hope you can hear me over my friends over here. Getting up, getting going. My pack's all ready to go. Carl's getting going. We're gonna head over to the Heart and Soul Cafe right on Main Street in downtown Pinedale. Fantastic breakfast there. And then really straight up the road, about I don't know, 30 minutes or so to the Trailhead, Elkhart Park Trailhead. I think about a 7-8 mile day today with about a little over 1,000 foot elevation gain. We'll be staying at Hobbs Lake, and then tomorrow is really going to be it's the day that I'm kind of all excited about, because we'll be heading over to Titcomb Basin and Island Lake, which is really the highlight of this particular trip. So with that, let's get going on day number 2. First day of hiking. Let's get it started. What's quickly becoming the tradition in the Wind River Range is the breakfast in the Heart and Soul Cafe. So I'm really looking forward to eat some coffee and your standard hash brown, scrambled eggs, and bacon breakfast before hiking. Yeah, it's the heart healthy breakfast before backpacking. Making our way over to the trailhead. This is what we're driving in, and not so bad. I believe we've made it to the trailhead, and it is certainly not empty. This is the Elkhart Park trailhead. Final gear preparation, almost complete. Got another group over here. It's going to be joining us on the trail. A little self-registration thing here. No permits are required, or quota permits are required here. Well, we are hiking. Perfect conditions in the low 60s. No humidity at all. Been a good year so far, so off to a good start. We're about 40 minutes into it. And this is what the trail's been. Gradual uphill. The entire time, about maybe 100, 200 feet per mile. The altitude is definitely a factor. Probably 9,600 feet. Sucking a little air as we get used to it. Glad that the trail's not steeper than it is. We're not real chatty Cathy's on this one, so it's more like... Met a guy on the trail that had gotten some altitude sickness, and he was recalling all the helicopter visits they've had over the last couple days, calling people out for altitude sickness. That got our attention. The other thing that is wonderful, not a single mosquito. That's a little different from last year. I mean, not one. Hi, doggy. Hi, puppy.
How are y'all?
Doing well. How about you guys?
I think we're closing in on Photographer's Point here. It's been a relatively flat trail, first couple miles at least, for that gradual uphill stuff, and then it flattened out, which has been kind of a nice break. First significant trail junction.
Hi.
Elkhart Lake down this way.
So we're here, and we're talking about Photographer's Point, which is here.
Oh, it's off the trail.
And the scale's 1,000 feet, so we're talking probably another mile.
Little work to do yet.
Little work. We're doing pretty good. 3.48 miles, yeah.
We're in 6.6 for the day, right?
Yeah.
I'm confident we are approaching Photographer's Point. We're reaching a point with big drop-offs, but man, is it pretty. We were just wondering why they call it Photographer's Point. We're not in Kansas or Indiana or Alabama for that matter anymore. I hope this camera does that justice. That's like one of those glacier moments where you just got to sit and pinch yourself because you don't believe you're really still standing in that spot. Just left Photographer's Point. I don't know if you can see those clouds in the distance, but that's a little ominous. Photographer's Point was worth the detour if you ever go that way. Don't take the bypass. We're wondering if that's rolling in on us. Might be glad I brought the tarp kit this time. We came to a trail junction. So we got Seneca Lake, which is the direction we're going. That's where we came from. And that appears to be Pole Creek Lake. And I don't know what those clouds look like, but we've been keeping an eye on them. They're looking a little ominous. Almost to Hobbs Lake. We're less than a mile, we think. Like a mini version of Photographer's Point. Closing in on Hobbs Lake. We're probably half a mile from it. To show a little bit of the topography of what we have to do here. We've been going downhill pretty severe. You get to go right past that little lake, which we've determined is not Hobbs Lake. And then I don't know if you can see it, but that looks painful at the end of the day. Pretty steep uphill right past the lake. Ouch. This is that uphill. The reason I'm not showing you me is I'm sucking air. All right, I'll let you go ahead and see me. This is the steepest hill we've had up all day, so right at the end of the day, we just met some people and they confirmed Hobbs Lake is really just past this uphill. It hurts. It's the last thing you do during the day. Here's the view from the other side. I don't know if you can see it way over there. There's people climbing that hill, but that's the hill we descended.
What are you carrying in?
Tools and gear for the trail for you to be out here.
Oh.
Oh, cool. Oh, where's these? Ooh. Will you guys carry us up the hill? You look like you already got a pretty heavy load, dudes. We made it to Hobbs Lake. This is it. And these trails, I believe, are the ones that go around to campsites around the lake. No camping within 200 feet, which is probably about how far we're standing away from it. We found our home for the night. It took a little work going down what they call a user trail. We ran into the trail maintenance crew on the horses. They had stopped to water their horses, and the one on the horse that was leading the horse train knew about this site. So she said, there's a user trail up here around the corner. You take it all the way to the end. You're just going to go past where you think it's going. Just keep going, and you'll find the best spot around the lake. It may not look like much with lots of rocks, but it's got a great fire ring and sitting log rocks. Beautiful views all around. Storm rolling in. Looks like there's ample places to set up the tarp back up in there. We're very happy to be here. We're gonna recuperate here for a minute and then get camp set up, get some water. I need some water bad. Maybe I'll switch the order of that and get the water first. Most important thing to avoid altitude sickness is drink a ton of water. So I'm gonna take that advice. Filtering a little water in Hobbs Lake while we watch the storms roll in. We got a pretty good spot for set the tarp up if we need to. Since they're not as dark as they were before, they don't look as menacing, so maybe they won't come in. Whew. No floaters. Well, it is definitely not the greatest tree I've ever done the gravity filter from, but it'll work. It's about the only tree in here that all the branches aren't sloping down like that. Ah, the sound. It's going, but it's going really, really slow. Ah, there we go. There we go. Get all the bubbles out of the line. Well, first thing I wanted to show you is somebody set up this little Barco lounger right here. Reminds me of the little chairs they set up at Dolly Sods that Travis showed me, but really nice to sit in a flat spot and have actually a place to lean back against. Some much needed Endurox R4, and I may follow it up immediately with another liter of water and an electrolyte tablet. Yep, still cheating. And the battery's still going, so it lasted all, I haven't put new batteries in, so all the Yellowstone, and especially when you're at altitude and your head's already feeling a little, getting there, tent's all set up, got this, the sleeping bag's in there. Gonna go looking for some firewood after this, I think. Really nice to be here and getting settled in. The water, by the way, is the ticket for the altitude stuff. I've pounded like 3 liters of water already, and I'm feeling a lot better than when we pulled into camp. We didn't really get any lunch on the trail, so we're kind of doing a late lunch. And I didn't really feel like the normal tuna packet. I am going to use my tortilla so I don't have to carry it tomorrow with pepperoni. Because I saw Carl do this. He made a little like pepperoni pizza roll. It looked pretty darn tasty. And then I'm also going to add some mayonnaise.
This all fits well with our low cholesterol diet.
Drum roll, please. Tapatio. Ah! There you go. I know there's some people rolling on the floor right now that I think I pronounced that right for the first time ever.
He called it tapatio just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I did not. It's really good. It's a spot. You need something salty and oily and stuff. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. We've recovered quite nicely from whatever altitude related or physical exhaustion related thing we went through. It is happy hour. We've recovered enough to indulge in a little adult beverage from last night, and then also cheddar cheese spread rehydration time. So we're gonna get some water in there, give it about an hour, and have a little happy hour, and then have some cheese and crackers at the end of that. Cheers, Carl. Alrighty. Remember to take out your desiccant. Always precisely measure the water. Maybe one more splash. That's all there is to it.
Where do you get that?
I get
cheese
that
spread,
from
David?
Packet Gourmet.
Packet Gourmet.
Probably the most asked question
I think so.
in the history of YouTube videos. There we go. That's all there is to it. We think the cheddar cheese spread is ready. I guess we're gonna find out. We couldn't wait any longer. This is like, oops, like one of the later cheddar cheese spreads we've done in a very long time. We actually had some company come into camp. I'm not sure where they're camping, but they may be just up the hill, so they may be down for some cheddar cheese spread. You may contrast the quantity of cheddar cheese spread with the Yellowstone trip where there were 5 of us. Now there's only 2 of us, so this may be dinner. I think we were perfect. You got the crumbly cracker. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thanks.
You can cycle through the rotation a lot faster when there's only 2 of us and no dogs. Here's the scene. We're out before it gets too dark and letting the cheese spread settle a little, looking for firewood. This little meadow is right next to our camp. I don't know if you can see the lighting real well, what Carl's got in his hands, but he found what we called a bigger peas. But the lighting is so cool. I mean, it was almost like this brownish type color lighting from the post-storm or the sun going behind the ridge or whatever. That'll keep the fire going for a while. I could come over there and help you, or I could just sit here and film you carrying it.
Do that YouTube thing.
I'm gonna go help him. Yeah, we're just kind of exploring out here in this dry, what probably was a pond at one time, and we're in the serious dry pond action here, but those are kitty cat treads, and those aren't your house kitty treads. The good news is those are really old, but at some point in time there was a little mountain lion coming through here looking for something, maybe hikers. Man, what a night. Just absolutely spectacular. And this is just the pre-appetizer to the main course that we'll be starting to get tomorrow. So I can't even imagine what it's like at Highland Lake right now. It's a late dinner time, really late dinner time for us. But we decided we don't want to carry our spare dinners, so we're going to eat something. In my case, it's Mountain House lasagna, and Carl's doing the highly complex Packet Gourmet shepherd's pie.
It's complicated.
Mountain House lasagna is ready for the Big Sky International Cozy, and Carl's highly complex Packet Gourmet shepherd's pie concoction will be ready in 15 minutes and in whatever manner he's attempting to do it.
I'm winging it.
We'll be having dinner, believe it or not, about an 8 o'clock dinner. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but we're getting some spectacular colors here at sunset. Dinner is almost served. We've got a little time to go yet. It is dinner time. Carl's uber complex Packet Gourmet thing is done. My Mountain House is done. This is a late dinner for us. Time?
8:14.
That's unheard of for September backpacking dinners. But we felt like we had to have something for dinner, and then we're gonna light the fire here, enjoy a couple hours of fire before we crawl into the tents for bed. How does it look?
Looks good.
Oh,
Smells pretty good.
classic Mountain House lasagna, which if you've never had it, is really good. But be prepared to spend some time cleaning your spoon. Stuff is so dry.
I know. It's gonna be embarrassing if I can't get it going.
I have a feeling you're not going to have any problem getting this going. Well, that was hard.
It was a struggle.
Oh, that's
You
beautiful.
wouldn't have that luck in the Smokies.
That is beautiful. I'm already catching the smell of
Yeah.
fire.
think we're good.
That's all she took.
I think I'll just stand here and keep throwing sticks on them.
You're like the coal tender in like a locomotive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, you pass, you know, coming up the trail, you pass all that just nice firewood the whole way.
I know. But you get anywhere near where you can actually camp.
We were gonna find sticks here. It was hard to find stuff.
We got a mile or two in, and it's just so dry and the wind and stuff. It's like I was so thirsty.
Yeah.
When you get hungry, you know, people say you get hangry. I was mad because I wanted water. So I told her because we had drank every bit of our water. I was like, we got to get to this next lake because I am thirsty.
Well, there was no water. I mean, we had the water we started with, and then we didn't get water till here.
It took a while to get some scenery though, coming out from the trailhead.
It did. Yeah.
Nice fire, Carl.
Took a lot of work.
Fantastic stars if we can stay up that late.
It really is, isn't it?
Well, you're just going for it now.
Yeah. We haven't run into mosquitoes, and that was, you know, he went last year, what, in July?
June, late June, and it was like biblical mosquitoes.
Yeah, I watched that video.
Good morning. Welcome to the third day of the trip, second day of backpacking, and this is the big one. Short hike, 4 miles or so, a little less, up to Island Lake and the Titcomb Basin area. We'll set up camp up there, do some exploring on the basin itself. This was the day I've been looking forward to all the time, so hopefully it'll be every bit as spectacular as I think it's going to be, and hopefully I'll do a good job of capturing it for all of you. Beautiful morning. There's not a cloud in the sky, and I have to say it's remarkably warm for September in the Wind River Range with a perfectly clear sky. I cannot explain it. Get going on day number 3. Should be a great one, and we're going to get it started with a little Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Hot enough, I don't want to hold it. Guess we're doing it right over here. Dunkin' Donuts coffee on the first morning in the Wind River Range, and on the morning that I finally get to see the Titcomb Basin. This one's to you, Travis, and Tyler. I didn't mention it, but Tyler wasn't able to join us on the trip. He made the attempt, but ran into some mechanical difficulties and had to bail. But we miss you, Tyler. We miss you, Travis. This one's for you. Oh, I can taste the Titcomb Basin in that coffee. And breakfast this morning is, you guessed it, honey bunches of oats with Nito. I think I've gone with this every single meal this year except maybe one. It's fast, it's simple, you don't have to pull the stove out, and really tasty. Oh, that was good. Yeah, the sun is just peeking up over the mountains, so I don't know if that comes out well, but starting to illuminate the camp a little bit. We are geared up and ready to go on day number 2. We're exhausted from breaking down camp.
Fairly ready to go.
I think the altitude, we're not feeling sick from it, but it's definitely playing a factor here. Going on day number 2. We're all set. Camp is broken down and we've left no trace. Off to Island Lake. Is it Seneca?
Well,
It's the only lake around, it looks like. It sure is, man. I thought it was a bigger lake than that. Give you some idea of what we just did. You can't see it but very well, but it just came straight down that cliff. The fun part is we get to go up that when we come back out. This is just kind of a out and back to Highland Lake.
Pretty close to it.
You're about 3 miles once you hit, probably like 4 miles out.
Okay.
You got like one more steep hill, and then after Seneca, it's relatively easy.
Okay. You like easy?
You get hungry? Little snack on the trail. There's one particularly memorable climb as you get up towards Seneca Lake, the real Seneca Lake. That wasn't it back there, but we've reached I think the top of that climb. Now I think it's predominantly downhill, but that's not a bad view, and I'm sure it'll even get better up here. This is a real Seneca Lake. That is one beautiful lake. This is Seneca Lake. I'm not sure you can see it real well, but it is really clear and it looks really deep. Last year, one of the reasons we didn't do this route is they said the trail was under 3 feet of water, and I think this is a stretch that was under 3 feet of water, and it would have been tough to get around. Panorama of Seneca Lake. Yep, I'm sure Island Lake's right on the other side of that ridge, which means we're going up and over it. That'll be our last little climb of the day, and then I'm sure it's downhill to Highland Lake right on the other side of that ridge, and all those mountain peakies you see there, that's going to be the mountains that line the Titcomb Basin. As spectacular as this is, I think it's only going to get better. This is Little Seneca Lake. We were just doing a map check. Trail goes, we just saw some people there, and then I think the Continental Divide Trail branches off, goes up that slot, and then we're actually going to go, we believe, up that way. On the other side is Island Lake. Hi, Llama.
Thanks, y'all too.
You got a funny face.
I'm from Alabama.
Hey there.
Hey, hi. Hi, buddies. That's the way to travel.
The only way at our age.
Kind of see what the trail does. And up over there, Little Seneca, getting ready to go uphill. That's kind of a important junction. This is the Continental Divide Trail. Now we're actually on the Continental Divide Trail for a bit. Getting closer, we're about 1.5 miles from Island Lake. Well, and I know that doesn't look nearly as steep on the camera. That's what we have to do, but on the other side is Island Lake, and it's all downhill from there. That is essentially the top of the climb. And if I pan around this way, show Carl catching his breath, you can kind of see the trail, and then it winds down there, and then you can't see it, but it's steep after that, all the way down to Little Seneca Lake. Glad that climb is over. Not a bad view from the top of the pass. Wow. This is one of those moments when it doesn't even feel like it's real, like you're in a painting or something. We're at the base of that climb, the pass is up there. We're down in kind of a little valley, but we got another uphill to go. I'm certain Island Lake's just on the other side, so we're getting close, but not a bad view, huh? This is the view from that top of the other climb we had to do. Not bad, and I think they're only going to get better when we get up there, but I didn't want to miss it. That's our first glimpse of Island Lake. I think it goes around to the left quite a ways too. Island Lake and Titcomb Basin. It's just spectacular. We're in looking for a campsite mode. Everybody we pass said there's tons of them, so hopefully we won't have too much trouble finding it. We get down there and find a campsite. We found our home for the night. Kind of a crazy place, Island Lake. It's a little bit like some of the lakes in the Sierra Nevada where just so many people, not that many spots, and you just got to keep going and going and going before you finally get to some decent spots that aren't just kind of like right on top of each other. The one spot we kind of first selected, another group came in and put their stuff right next to us. This is better. There's more trees. We got a fire ring. Home for the night. You can see my tent's up here, Carl's here, so we kind of got a spread out area. That's the other thing, is a lot of the other sites around here were like you know, you got a space to put your tent, and then there's another guy like 10 feet away from you. So this is...
And David found the real estate.
Yeah. We're gonna regroup here, and we desperately need some water. A lot more hiking today than we thought. That's the other downside, is we're quite a ways away from the lake. We're gonna try to minimize the number of trips we have to take down there, but we're gonna take one for sure right now. So, not such a bad water filtering spot, huh? This is not Island Lake. This is some little pond or something that happens to be straight down from our campsite. That was quite a climb coming down here. We've got to go back up. So we're gonna filter everything, fill every water bottle we have, probably do some drinking and then fill again, and so we only have to make that trip one time. Or something. Oh, that is cold water too. There we go. Eat slow. Matter of fact, it's kind of like non-existent.
How's it flowing?
It's not. I'm getting a little. It'll work. Is that going to hold the bags though?
Well,
It's got enough.
No, I think it will.
Okay.
I'm yanking hard on it. So.
All right. Not many options around here.
No.
Not a bad little spot to fill up the air mattress. I'm still cheating with my little pump, but I figured if I gave you guys that kind of a view in the background, you'd forgive me for using my pump one more time. Still going on the original set of batteries. Pretty spectacular. Alright, well, it's cheddar cheese spread moment here. One of the better backdrops we've had for the cheddar cheese spread. A little soupier than last night.
Is it?
But still manageable. Alright, again, it's just Carl and I, so this may be dinner. There are worse dinners.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's hydrated.
All right.
Very good.
Travis, Tyler, this one would be yours, but Carl's gonna have it.
Sorry, guys.
Travis, Tyler, whoever didn't get that one, this one was yours. You would have loved it. All right, dinner tonight against that nice backdrop again is for me is good to go Thai curry. I had this once on the AT in the Grayson Highlands with Bob, and it was pretty good. There's no meat in it, so that kind of sounded good tonight. My whole altitude thing is wreaking havoc on my appetite. And I think Carl's doing ramen noodles with stuff in it.
I had to one up David, so I've never had the ramen rescue
with chicken from Packet Gourmet. So, got to get the water boiling, and we'll get dinner going. It's a little windy. The stoves are sputtering a little bit here, but we've I think we both got boiling water ready for the mixy. All right, Carl set.
How long on yours?
30 minutes, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
So 30 minutes. So Carl's going to be done eating before I've started. We didn't time that particularly well.
You can have some ramen.
All right. There we go. Good to go. The sun is just getting ready to set below the horizon, so the colors are going to warm up nicely, and we could maybe some alpine glow or something. I'm looking forward to some spectacular pictures and videos tonight.
Dinner and a movie.
Here's the panorama as the sun begins to set. Wow. Almost 30 minutes is up, so it's time for dinner. Carl's in the midst of his ramen rescue. Try out my good to go Thai curry here. How was the ramen rescue?
Good. Good.
Anything with sriracha in it has to be good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's green. Don't know where that comes from, but oh man, that's really good. Kind of a late night dark fire getting going.
You found a good one.
Not the greatest sitting spot, but
no.
You can actually lay back and Barco lounger.
Good heat.
Does not take much to get a fire going.
Not at all.
Out here. Not like Great Smoky Mountains National Rainforest, you know.
That's a good fire.
That's a great fire.
We have those two burn ones there.
You
too.
gotta
We
get
can
those
throw
in
them
when you can, because they'll just turn to like just beautiful coals.
How's that?
That'll be nice. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Been a great day.
Great day.
Incredible scenery.
The best yet. Very easy hike too.
You just keep saying that and see how you feel tomorrow.
Fire sure does make a difference.
That's just awesome. I didn't think we were going to be able to have one. Good morning. Not a bad backdrop to wake up to. It is the 4th day of the trip overall, 3rd day of backpacking. We've decided to modify our plans a little bit. We were going to head over to the Pole Creek Lakes area, which is a pretty good haul from here, and then it was going to be a bigger haul the last day to the cars. We're going to end up basically going back, doing an out and back, and either stop at Hobbs Lake again on the way back out, or if we're feeling good, we may go all the way back to the car. A few reasons for that. These easy, short days have been whipping our butt pretty bad. So we're worried about knocking off days that are even twice as long the next 2 days. We're going to shorten it up, just change our plan slightly. And the other part of that is we're not going to be able to beat this. And so we're a little concerned anything we do from here on out is going to be a little bit of a letdown scenery-wise and video-wise. And start of day number 3 of backpacking. Gonna walk around and get some more video as the sun continues to come up and the colors continue to change. But we're gonna squeeze in some Dunkin' Donuts coffee as well. Let's get day number 3 going. Dunkin' Donuts coffee on a magnificent morning on Island Lake in the Wind River Range. Doesn't get much better than that. Oh, gets the heart starting pretty well, as does that view in the background. That never gets old. And breakfast this morning, you guessed it, honey bunches of oats with Nido. Sound like a broken record, but the backdrop is different. And the sun is just reaching us. We actually watched it come down the cliff here kind of quickly, and now we're in the sun. Ooh, man, filled that one up pretty good.
It's the full bag.
Perfect. Never gets old. Really good.
And simple.
Another crappy day in the Wind River Range.
Terrible.
Could get used to this. Good morning from day number 3 in the Wind River Range. This is my shout out to the Shill Brother Outdoors and my honoring my own frontier, Joey. The Shill Brothers and I sat down and we did a review of Joey's channel, and we watched his Wind River Range episode, and I told Kevin and Andy that I would give them a little shout out when I was in the Titcomb Basin. Well, I'm not in the Titcomb Basin. Sorry about that, guys. To you, hey, Kevin and Andy, and also to everybody else who's watching this, this is a classic example of planning something out on paper, and then when you get out here in person and take a look at it, it's a little different ballgame. To get to the Titcomb Basin from Island Lake, especially when you're camped as far away from the trail as we are, is literally another day's hike. Just to get over to the trail, the Titcomb Basin Trail is probably a good 1.5 miles from here, and then about another couple, 2-3 miles up to the basin, all uphill, and then back. So we were doing that math as we were sitting here dying after hiking in last night, and it just wasn't going to happen. So what we learned is many people come here, set up camp, and actually spend 2 nights here, and then they spend the second day just day hiking up in the Titcomb Basin, and that's a much better plan. So don't fool yourself when you're looking at it on paper. It's a lot more difficult than it looks. The Show Brothers Outdoors, Kevin and Andy, thank you very much for a great day. I'm in that same spot we were watching. Well, not quite, it's up over there, but close enough. And to Joey, my own frontier, thanks for the inspiration. And Joey had it with a Tall Boy PBR, I think. I'm doing it with my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And my knee's sitting here clicking. We are geared up and ready to go. We got about a 1/2 mile back to get to the trail and then up the hill. So this is not an easy start to day number 3. But it's a long day, but heading back towards Hobbs Lake and then maybe back to the trailhead. We'll see. Getting going on day number 3. We're hiking. One last panorama look before we start to go up the hill. Gorgeous day. We've reached the main trail. You can see what we got we're facing. See the people up there? That's why I stopped to take a photo op, because feels like we've already put in a decent day's hike and we just made it back to the trail. One last look. Not a bad place to be doing it, that's for sure. Sorry for the heavy breathing ruining your nature show. That's what we were just going up. It was after a 1/2 mile of brutal stuff from our camp, which was way down that way. We're getting close to the top, and this is by far the worst hill we've got today. Man, one last view and a rest stop to soak it all in. We survived the uphill. We made it to the top of that climb, and this is what we're hiking in. Very pleasant, perfectly flat. Nice way to recover from that climb. We go down a gentle downhill here and up that saddle, and Seneca Lake's on the other side. That's not bad, huh? That's where we came from. That's what we got to do. Yeah, you're putting the connection together. Every time I stop, it's when I'm resting. We wanted to get one more glimpse of the view. Once we go over the side of Seneca Lake, we're not seeing this anymore. So this is our last shot, and up at the top, we'll stop again probably. Well, we're trying to catch every last opportunity to absorb the views and a little more oxygen. Little Seneca Lake. This is Seneca Lake. You can see the trail down there. Well, one last look at Seneca Lake before we head on. Beautiful lake. Came to this little spot right after the descent, long descent from Seneca Lake. Makes me remember why yesterday was such a long day. There's some long uphills. We're right between Seneca Lake and Hobbs Lake, making good time because it's been predominantly downhill. So we're probably going to stop at Hobbs Lake and have some lunch and get some water and rehydrate all that, and then push onto the car.
The first person on the trail, he has brought a stick too.
We feel neglected. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, that's not. Have a good one.
You too. So much for all that nice, easy downhill here too. I think there's 2 big uphills left. This one that we're hitting just before Hobbs Lake, and another one right after Hobbs Lake. I think it's all downhill to the car. Gives you some idea. When we came down it, I was thinking, oh, this is really going to be hard going up. It was. Just didn't want to deny you the opportunity to see what I look like going up these at altitude. We made it to Hobbs Lake. First night's camp spot was up in there. We're gonna get some water and a little snack and be on our way again. I can honestly say we made much better time from Island Lake here than we did here to Island Lake. We got one hill, big downhill after Hobbs, and a big uphill, and then it's basically downhill all the way to the car. I talked to a couple of guys back at Island Lake and they said, weather is moving in this afternoon. Our revised plan is making more sense all the time. These rocks feel good on the knees. Alright, I suppose there's a tree here.
Slim pickings. Everybody's camping here right now.
Just taking a little break, getting rehydrated before the final push. We're about halfway for the day. A little over 3 hours to get here from Island Lake, and I think we were doing 4 yesterday. So we've pretty much solidified our plan now, so we're heading out, make it a 3-day trip rather than a 4-day trip. Just after that whole experience at Island Lake, we knew there really couldn't be anything better than that. Ended on a high note. High note on the video and high note on the trip for us. Best of both worlds. Break time is over. So we can only make that last so long. We're on the home stretch. This is the last, it's a 3-hour home stretch, but we're almost there. This is the hill I was talking about. There's just some idea of the train, and then it goes basically all the way to the top. So we're sitting here thinking about it and filming. We're being courteous and letting everybody through. That way we don't have to start hiking. We do have ulterior motives here. We're psyching ourselves up. Satellite message coming. Not a bad view, and I think I might have done this when we were heading out, but the trail was right by that lake. Gives you an idea of the hill we just climbed, and we're still climbing. We're closing in on the Elkhart Park Trailhead. Came to this area, and it's just the luscious green of it, just in contrast to the stuff we had up above tree line. This is what we're hiking in as we close in the last mile or so to the Elkhart Park Trailhead. But the reason I'm doing this shot is, I don't know if you can see the clouds. Those are looking really threatening. Kind of thankful we're getting out today. A number of people did tell us that weather's moving in this afternoon, and it certainly appears to be the case. I don't know if you can see it, but all those little brown dots are rain. I'm getting rained on for the first time in 2019. Just a little bit, but it's the first time all year. We've been hearing some pretty juicy thunder too. We're getting off the trail at just about the right time, I think. Looks like our perfect weather for 2018 is coming to the end as we come within sight of the trailhead. It's raining, and there's a little thunder and lightning too. Kind of crazy, but finishing the hike. There's the parking lot in the rain. Made it back to the trailhead. So that does it. The September 2019 Wind River Range backpacking trip is in the books, and it finishes in the rain. The first rain we got for the entire 2019 season was about the last quarter miles. We went into the trip with extremely high expectations in terms of the scenery and views that we would experience. And I think if anything, our expectations were blown away. The winds are spectacular. There's areas of scenery like around Island Lake that make you feel like you're in a painting and not real life. The only times I've really ever had those feelings before are in Glacier and the Sierra Nevada. Just truly breathtaking. We didn't end up doing the trip that we had planned, and we didn't do it with all the people that we planned to do it with. Tyler ended up having car trouble, and he couldn't make it to Pinedale for the start of the hike. And we ended up skipping the Pole Creek Lakes area because we realized the mileage was just too great for the travel constraints we had, and we were having some issues with the altitude that we didn't want to play with. We're happy with the hike that we did. We have no regrets, and we came out without injury and feeling fine, which is more than we can say for the half dozen or so people that had to be airlifted out from what we heard from the Island Lake area with altitude sickness and other injuries. The Wind River Range, an area that's breathtakingly beautiful, and an area for us that was a great hike.